Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and give this video a like up. It was clear when I watched All Out this past weekend, that AEW's focus will be on the in-ring aspect of sports entertainment, going forward. The matches were absolutely incredible and honestly, WWE cannot hope to keep pace with the kind of schedule they maintain. Which is why there's a definite focus on the sports entertainment aspect of things with WWE in my opinion. After watching so much pro wrestling over the past few days, I'm glad that we have both alternatives in 2019. And we can enjoy both, depending on what we feel like on any given day. Of course, I want to hear your take on how WWE Raw was and if indeed you enjoyed the show. If you did, please leave a comment and let me know your thoughts and views. We don't appreciate Baron Corbin enough, and I'll tell you why I feel so in this section of my article. Baron Corbin has grown by leaps and bounds in the ring, and as every great heel I've ever interviewed has told me, it is not the job of a good heel to do flashy moves and be cheered. Baron Corbin is great at his job, and when it is time to make someone look good, he steps out of his comfort zone and actually keeps up with whichever former indie darling he's paired with. And Cedric Alexander showed us just what he was made of in the quarter-final round of the King of the Ring tournament where, even in defeat, he looked like $1 million. He even sold the injury that was inflicted upon him by the OC. Right from when the titles were introduced, it did seem like WWE had no plans for anyone in the division. At first, Sasha Banks and Bayley became champions, but there just didn't seem to be a concrete vision in place for the two. Both women seem far better off right now than they were as tag team champions. The same would happen with the Iconics, and I thought that putting the titles around Bliss and Cross Waists would change that. Such was not the case at all, and unfortunately, they were just instruments facilitating Bayley's heel turn. I wonder if it means that Sasha and Bayley will be gunning after the titles Cross and Bliss hold. Whether they will end up competing twice on the same night just as the men are. Many have dubbed this week's episode of the Firefly Funhouse as the best one that WWE has ever done. This week's show scores this distinction because so much was said and conveyed over the 3 minutes. Perhaps more so in 3 minutes than we learned in 3 whole hours. Vince McMahon seemed irate at the fact that details of The Fiend challenging either Seth Rollins or Braun Strowman had leaked to the press. But then Bray Wyatt stuffed his face with money, and Vince McMahon shut up immediately, which was so symbolic of the way that his character has gotten over with the WWE universe. Bray Wyatt is money and he wants the world to know it. And in what was the most telling thing in the segment, Bray Wyatt spoke about teamwork at the end. Is this indicative of the Wyatt family returning? The Viking Raiders and the OC teased a massive feud last week during the Tag Team Turmoil match. This was a way for the two teams to eliminate one another so that Bobby Roode and Ziggler could go to the next round with ease. And I thought that this was still a good feud for the OC even if they weren't Raw Tag Team Champions anymore. Except that there were different plans for the OC this week, which involved an altercation with Rollins and Strowman at the top of the show. And this effectively meant that the feud between the two teams was cancelled. This is a shame because the Viking Raiders had to go back to squashing local talent this week. The tag team division is already a mess with 2 singles players on top. This was yet another nail in the division's coffin. Bayley was once touted as the next John Cena, but obviously, something went wrong along the way for her. She's achieved much in WWE, but somehow she has not been able to reach the same level of success that she was originally touted for. What she needed was a heel turn, and yes, it happened at the end of Raw, where she unleashed a flurry of chair shots on Becky Lynch's back. This was the best way to end the show, and everyone's talking about it being one of the best heel turns in history. While this waters down her feud with Charlotte Flair to a degree, it's better in the long run, in my personal opinion. There's a lot of value in having Bayley develop into a full-fledged heel who can elevate the likes of Ember Moon. So, the alliance of Braun Strowman and Seth Rollins is not a cohesive one. We already know that, and we know that there will be cracks when the two face Ziggler and Roode at Clash of Champions. But at the same time, both men are top-tier performers, and Roode and Ziggler needed to be portrayed as credible threats for the duo at the upcoming pay-per-view event. I'm not sure that this was achieved to any degree whatsoever, On this week's show, Rude and Ziggler took on Hawkins and Ryder, and actually went on to have a very competitive match indeed. In fact, there actually seemed like a point where it seemed that they would lose the match, before the pinfall attempt was broken up last minute. I would have just had them run through this team, and showcase to the world that they are indeed a dominant pair. So, AJ Styles is the current US champion, and he rightfully said that he deserves a shot at the Universal Championship, because that's the way it used to work in the old days. At least, such was the case with the Intercontinental Championship, where a mid-card title would lead you to the main prize. But times have changed and the way that titles are booked have also changed. I wonder if this particular approach of inserting him right into the mix with Strowman and Rollins will devalue the US Championship. Because at present, there's no program at all for the United States title at all. I wonder if the beatdown on Cedric Alexander was their unique way to kickstart such a feud. We know that the Raw Tag Team titles have been watered down. They seem like an afterthought if the champion himself cares about another title. The latest episode of WWE Raw, aired on March 3, 2025, delivered a mix of electrifying moments and unexpected twists, leaving fans both exhilarated and contemplative. Here's a comprehensive breakdown of the night's highs and lows. The show kicked off with an irate CM Punk storming to the ring, foregoing his usual fanfare. Climbing atop the commentary table, Punk delivered a blistering State of the Union address, targeting several top WWE figures. He labeled The Rock as a bald fraud and Mr. Midlife Crisis, criticizing his sporadic appearances and questioning his commitment to the company. Punk then turned his ire towards John Cena, accusing him of betraying the fans and embodying hypocrisy. The intensity escalated when Punk warned Seth Rollins, prompting Rollins to confront him, leading to a chaotic brawl that required multiple officials to separate them. Lyra Valkyria defended her Women's Intercontinental Championship against Ivy Nile in a match that, despite Nile's strategic focus on Valkyria's leg, failed to captivate the audience. The bout lacked the intensity and storytelling that fans have come to expect from championship matches, resulting in a lukewarm reception. World Heavyweight Champion Gunther showcased his dominance in a match against Otis. Despite Otis's resilience and the crowd's support, Gunther secured victory with a powerbomb. Post-match, as Gunther attempted further assault, Jey Uso intervened, delivering a spear to Gunther and holding the world title aloft. This confrontation intensified when A-Town down under ambush Uso, leading to Gunther applying a sleeper hold, leaving Uso unconscious in the ring. A clear message ahead of their WrestleMania clash. The War Raiders defended their tag team championship against the Creed brothers in a match that, despite the challengers' efforts, felt formulaic and failed to elevate the tag team division. The bout lacked memorable moments and did little to advance any significant. In the main event, Io Sky challenged Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship. The match was a testament to both competitors' athleticism and storytelling prowess. The turning point came when Ripley became entangled in a ringside altercation with Bianca Belair, the Women's Elimination Chamber winner. This distraction allowed Sky to capitalize, executing her signature over the moonsault to clinch the championship. The victory not only crowned a new champion, but also set the stage for a compelling narrative leading into WrestleMania. Backstage segments revealed growing discord within the Judgment Day faction. Finn Balor's frustration with Dominic Mysterio and Carlito's recent performances hinted at potential fractures within the group. While internal conflict can add depth to storylines, the lack of clear direction or resolution left viewers uncertain about the faction's future trajectory. In response to the night's earlier chaos, General Manager Adam Pearce announced a high-stakes steel cage match between CM Punk and Seth Rollins for the upcoming Raw at Madison Square Garden. This announcement heightened anticipation, promising a definitive showdown between the two rivals. A cinematic segment featured Chad Gable embarking on a quest to Mexico, seeking to understand Lucha Libre. Encountering an enigmatic old man, Gable purchased a mysterious box purported to grant special Lucha Libre powers. The segment's ambiguous nature and lack of immediate payoff left fans puzzled rather than intrigued. Ludwig Kaiser addressed the audience, declaring his intention to reclaim the spotlight he felt was unjustly on Penta. This provoked Penta to storm the ring, leading to a fierce brawl that saw Penta gaining the upper hand. The segment effectively escalated their feud, adding depth to their characters and setting the stage for future confrontations. Rumors had circulated about a potential appearance by Vince McMahon, especially given the recent controversies and storyline developments. However, the episode concluded without any sign of the WWE chairman, leaving some fans disappointed and speculating about future implications. In a backstage interview, AJ Styles addressed the recent actions of John Cena and Cody Rhodes but was interrupted by Karrion Kross. Undeterred, Styles announced his intention to call out Logan Paul at the upcoming Madison Square Garden show, hinting at a potential WrestleMania matchup and adding intrigue to his storyline. Bianca Belair, having secured her spot at WrestleMania by winning the Elimination Chamber, expressed mixed emotions during a backstage interview. While proud of her achievement, she voiced concerns over recent events involving Naomi and Jade Cargill. This uncertainty, coupled with the outcome of the night's main event, left her WrestleMania plans in a state of flux.